Welcome back to Garden Talk, brought to you by the Penn State Erie County Extension Master Gardeners. I'm your co-host for today, Mike Bailey, and again, along with Ellen DePlacido. Good morning, Ellen.
Good morning, Mike.
Hey, last time we talked about starting seeds indoors, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And we told our listeners that this time we were going to talk about some of the key components that you need to address.
Right.
So we're going to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about that? We do what we say we're going to do sometimes. Okay?
Sometimes.
and we talked about 4 different things, right? What were they, Ellen? Remember?
Light, growing medium, temperature, and moisture. You got to have them all right.
Yes, you're right. And what we talked about, we were going to squeeze all 4 of them in to this one session, and just now we decided that we're not going to make it. Okay, so we're going to divide. We're going to do light and growing medium this one, and temperature and moisture in the following one. So let's start with that light.
Okay.
Because you had mentioned during the last session, Ellen, that this is a real challenge to do, in a window, correct?
Right. Can't do it in a... Unlikely that you're going to be successful in a window.
I mean, some experienced gardeners have done a lot of things, made some modifications to their windows. Maybe they've built a nice little greenhouse or something like that, and that all works fine. But for most of us, we don't have that. Okay, we didn't have the room for that or the resources to do something like that. So you got to provide supplemental light somehow. Mm-hmm. Now, you can do that in a variety of different ways, but one thing you can't do, you can't provide that with incandescent bulbs. It has to either be a cool fluorescent fixture, and most of the fluorescent fixtures now are the cool fluorescent fixtures, okay? Or you can use LED lights, or you can use a grow light. Okay. Now walking back here, okay, based upon what I have done historically, I know that you do not need the full spectrum of light that's provided by a grow light to grow seedlings. Seedlings are nothing more than vegetative growth. Okay, so they just need light that's in the blue range of the spectrum. If you're growing plants like maybe in houseplants and you want them to bloom, you need that full spectrum of light, and therefore you would need some kind of a grow light. Okay, which has the full spectrum of light, not only the blue, but also the reds and the
like
purples.
Like a rainbow?
Yeah, like a rainbow. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Good, very good. Now, so fluorescent fixtures will work fine, and I've used those extensively, but I've recently changed over to LEDs because they're quite inexpensive. They provide a lot of light, and they provide light in the spectrum that you need, which is that blue range. Okay. Now, but this season, I stumbled across something a little bit different. I've come across an LED that actually provides light in the full spectrum.
Okay.
And it wasn't much more. It was just $1 or $2 more expensive than the regular LED fixtures. So I am now going to use those. Okay, LED grow lights.
Where did you get
those?
Those?
If you go online.
Here we go.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't find them in a store.
Okay.
You almost have to kind of go online.
Okay.
But light is so very, very important. Okay, when you do this. So, and our goal, remember, is healthy plants. Mm-hmm. So let's keep that in mind. But what about the growing medium?
Well, number one, you can't go out into your garden that you might have or in your yard and dig up garden soil to start your seeds in, because first of all, it's going to harden. You know that just from having it outside. It has weed seeds in it, and it could have some bacteria and fungus. And eventually it's going to crust over. So you want a special medium for your seeds, but not necessarily seed starting medium. I and Mike, we both just use good potting soil. It works fine. It doesn't harden up, and it's good for drainage and all that. So I would suggest just good potting soil. You want to make sure that you have the appropriate containers. They have to be able to drain. The water has to be able to drain out of it. And you want to make sure that they're the right size. We've seen a lot of these little seed starting containers that are so tiny. And if you're going to put a tomato seed in that container probably is not big enough for that tomato plant that's going to grow from that seed. So you want to make sure that it has good drainage and it has the good size that you need for good root growth. And then, you can make your own. We've done that. rolled newspaper and some paper cups, as long as they have the drainage holes in them that allow the water to drain off of that soil.
Okay. Ellen, if I can just add to that,
Okay.
the importance of a good, loose, friable material.
Right.
That potting soil. Some of the things that you can buy, really, you can put your hand in there and it just fluffs all over.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And it's really nice, and it's nice and loose. It allows for the roots to kind of grow through that medium, without any kind of restriction. I'm sure the different gardeners, you've had these plants where you pulled them out of the seed trays and they're all kind of white. You got to break up all that roots. You not only, when you're starting seeds on the inside, you want a good vegetative growth up above, but you want to have good room for the roots to grow. The roots are very, very important at this stage of plant development.
Right.
So, Ellen, it looks like we've used our time.
Okay.
So, I'm glad we made the decision we did. So thank you for listening, and we're going to get to temperature and moisture in our next session.
Okay.
So thank you very much now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.